Yeah, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin-yang, come along.
Come on, and welcome aboard to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by the fine folks at Andy Moore Honda, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer. Jim Coyle with you, as always, on this Friday. Indiana Sports Beat Radio coming to you. Expecting to talk to Alec Lasley later on. Verdell's going to join. He can't co-host today, but he'll be joining us. Never know who all we're going to be able to talk to today. I'm going to try to talk to Todd Leary as his son is playing in the state finals this weekend. Carmel taking on Lawrence North, CJ Gunn, an IU recruit. So that should be exciting. The 4A game, that game won't be till 8. It just dawned on me, and I don't understand. This is just ridiculous. Why? You took an extra week. You got all that, but you had to have the IHSA finals during the damn NCAA. Really? What are we doing here? I mean, why? Move it to Friday. Gee whiz. Am I missing something? Are these games not at the same time? Morning cousin. Who is cousin? What is she talking about? I love how y'all, and if you're not listening on the on YouTube or watching on YouTube, you should be. Just go to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. You can sign up. It's free, notifications. Jennifer from Evansville. Morning, cousin, everyone. Julia is with us. Yeah, I'd like to hear from Mr. Leary. Dwayne. A lot of folks down there in that Evansville area up and ready. Hey, make sure they know that they can hear us on ESPN in Evansville there. In Evansville, it's at 3 p.m. Central or 3 p.m. Evansville time, which is Central time. Every day before Dan Nagurski on the ref, 97.7 there in Evansville. Also down in, if you're in the southern Indiana, central southern Indiana area, in Marengo, north of Tell City, Corydon West, from Jasper East, from Mitchell South, that area, Marengo, WBRO 89.9. Catch us there at 5 o'clock each day. And we should be on plenty of other stations. So if you know of a station where you live, if there's an area, tell them. Bloomington, especially, they should be carrying us. Let's see. Let us know what you want to talk about today. Obviously, we're waiting to see who. I have a really good feeling, and it is about nothing other than this feeling I've had. Michael Lewis is just, I think it's time for Michael Lewis to come home. I think that Michael Lewis would be a great addition. Not that a lot of guys wouldn't be a great addition, but I like what Michael Lewis brings with his moxie, with his coaching acumen. This dude has been around now. He has coached under some really good teachers at a lot of different places. He's gotten a lot of different experience, recruiting experience. He's a coach, man. He's a coach's coach. He's from Jasper, Indiana. I just like everything about Michael Lewis. I can see him, and I see this playing out 7 years from now. The torch gets passed again, the transition made easier, and that set up way in advance. I see a big picture for it. And not that it's him, but I think it will be someone. I don't see Mike Roberts being retained, but I have no idea. I don't see the point. I think you've already, if you've got Kenya Hunter, that leaves you 2 spots. So one of those has got to be a Michael Lewis, a Calvert Chaney, something like that. Your other guy, they maybe it may go more for recruiting in a different area. I don't know. But Eric, how are you? Oh, out in Iowa. Hoosier in the house. Hey, how cool. I love to know where everybody's from. Some of you, you've been around long enough that I remember, but there's a new one. Appreciate you, Eric. Force is down in Georgia. I can't not remember where Van is. IU needs an easier transition. One thing Purdue got right is they went from Keedy to Painter. Well, yeah, there's a lot of teams that have done that successfully. One team that's looking at it right now is North Carolina. And that brings up something else. The blue blood schools are going through a major transformation in my mind. You've got Indiana that just happened. You've got UNC that just happened. I think that Calipari is the next domino to fall. I think next year is his last season. That would be UK. I think that Krzyzewski is got to be right behind that. That's Duke. Does Bill Self skate free of these NCAA deals? That may be okay there, but that would be Kansas. That would be Indiana, North Carolina, UK, Duke, and Kansas. If you want me to add UCLA, they had a coaching change just 2 years ago. So if what I just said happens, that would put within a 4-year span, a college graduation span, the changing of the guard at the 6 Blue Bloods. I mean, am I missing someone? If you want to add Louisville and Michigan State, they're not Blue Bloods, but they're that next level. Changing of the guard at Louisville happened within the last 2 years. And I just mentioned, and Tom Izzo, he's right there. I don't know how much. Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? But he's closer. I think he's closer than people think. I remember seeing something on the Rival site that it was a couple of weeks ago that Roy Williams was going to retire. Not surprised. He's been doing it a long time. He doesn't need to do it the rest of his life. He's been successful. So congratulations to him. Great career. Yeah, Bill Self needs to be fired. Guys like that and Will Wade, jackasses that are ruining college basketball. Forrest doesn't think that Michael Lewis comes without assistant head coach title. Oh, I agree with that. There's absolutely no doubt. Now, I know that Kenya Hunter had a co-assistant head coach title, which is because of, I guess that was given to Tom Ostrom as another, hey, here's whatever it is you do. But yeah, I would, of course, absolutely agree with that because I think that if he does come, whoever comes is going to be the guy in waiting. Now, does that mean someone's coming for that? I don't know that. I don't know that. I'm just thinking I see this setup happening. And why not do it now? I think it's time. I mean, Michael Lewis is a guy that has spent his time learning. He's in the Final Four right now. He's been behind some really good programs. Unless he doesn't want to bring his family out of the sunny confines of Southern California, which I was texting with Michael a few months back, and it was me and Todd and Leary, and he was waiting on something from UPS. He'd been waiting for 2 days, and he finally got it, and it was a little miniature green, like a putting green that he could put in the middle of his pool that he had out there. So not feeling sorry for him, but he's from Jasper. His wife's from Jasper. He's got 2 kids. He probably wants to see him brought up in Indiana. But I can tell you who will not be. That's not going to be Dane Fife. Don't even bring that name up for that. He's not leaving a coach in waiting position for a coach in waiting position. Not going to be him. It's that I think that this position is a Calvert or a Michael Lewis, and Michael Lewis far and away has a head start to me because he's done nothing but college coaching, recruiting, all of that, planning, game planning, Big Ten, Pac-10, Pac-12. So Butler, he's got all that college experience. I think he's got he's the leader in the clubhouse to me, if he wants it, if he wants to leave the West Coast. Damn it. I was going to try to get him on today. I forgot to text him. Need to text. I'll text him in a break to see if he's available this morning. Make sure we're not late for a break. Yeah. Alec Lasley's going to come up next. We'll talk about CJ Gunn. He's playing this weekend in the 4A state finals in Indianapolis tomorrow night. Recently recommitted made his commitment to Indiana known that it is still there. Hey, I need to give away I know a lot of you early birds are not listening from the Bloomington area, but if you are, pop up on there. Got some Pizza X pizzas going to give away. Nobody came up with my great question yesterday, my trivia question involving Michael Lewis. He may not be the only, but I think he's the only former IU player that's a coach that played high school basketball with a Major League Baseball star, Scott Rowland at Jasper. Verdell Jones is going to join us a little later. Alec Lasley is going to join us next. We still got a couple minutes before we hit the break. A lot of questions coming in. Here we go. Some football. Could Jack Tuttle, getting all the quarterback reps, give Penix a run for the starting quarterback spot? No. Answer that one real quick. But I'll answer it more into detail. No. No amount of reps is going to give Jack Tuttle that little laser that comes out of Michael Penix Jr.'s right shoulder socket. Dude's got a laser, man. It's that much. It's not an entire second faster. It's faster. It's more laser-like. It's a difference maker. He threw for 500 yards against Ohio State. He is just he has a different type of arm. So no is the easy answer to that. Yes, Bill Self needs to be fired, needs to be retired. Corey says, it's just me. Am I the only one now thinks better off with Woodson than Stevens? Every day I love this more and more. From Sellersburg. Hey, down my old area. Speaking of Sellersburg, Silver Creek in the 3A championship game, going for a back-to-back state titles tomorrow up in Indianapolis with Trey Kaufman and Cooper Jacoby, Brian Northern. What a hell of a team they have. Wow. But, yeah, looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Time to hit a break. Coming up next, Alec Lasley is going to join us. We'll talk about CJ Gunn and what's going on with the Indiana recruiting and plenty more to talk about. The NCAA taking on the Supreme Court about amateurism, and they're getting laughed at again. Back with more to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by the great folks at Andy Moore Honda.
Hey, we all want more, and no one gives you more.
All right, I sent someone. Verdell's at 9:40. I sent someone
double check with Alec. Alec's going to be on in a moment.
I sent someone a landline text. Who the fuck did I send that to? Oh, I bet it was Aaron.
I didn't even know landline texting was a thing.
It's not. That's why it didn't work.
No. I assume after the show today too, we're also replacing those free commercials with PSAs.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just get through the show right now.
Okay.
Who the fuck did I say? Oh, it was Aaron. I gotta get somebody for 10.
Alec is here.
What's up?
Hey, man. Oh, you know what? Are you available at 10 in case I need you?
For how long?
Let me see if I can find somebody else.
I have some other work stuff that I have to get done.
Dine and to play. We offer an up-close animal encounter with
What do you got
elephants and
now?
giraffes, lodging that is out of this world, world-class golfing, and a premier resort experience that is waiting for you on your next visit to French Lick, West Baden.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sillersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Welcome back to the Golf Club Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by Andy Moore Honda. Wilmington's #1 Honda dealer, Alec Lasley from thehoosier.com joins us now. Make sure you follow him at Al Lasley and at thehoosier.com. It's free to sign up. A lot of questions. Just saw one. Where did it go? About we don't have an answer for, but any word on Armand Franklin, Christian Lander? I'll give you Armand Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big one that all the Indiana fans are really kind of looking at right now. Obviously, second leading scorer last year, shot 43% from the perimeter as well. So he's a key part to at least Indiana's next few months, few weeks. Kind of the biggest competition for him right now would be Illinois. They're pushing really hard, obviously, with the losses of Ayo Dosunmu, Trent Frazier, both gone, and then yesterday Adam Miller entered the transfer portal as well. So they have a lot of room in the backcourt.
Why is Coburn not leaving?
He will. I think he's just everyone announces at their own pace. I'm surprised that he hasn't come out and said it already. I don't think.
I guarantee you he's Underwood saying, "Hey, don't say it yet. We're trying to get Armand Franklin from Indiana. Don't announce until we get him to say, because there's no way he's going there if Coburn's leaving. What's the point?"
It just all depends on how he sees eye to eye with the coaching staff, with Coach Woodson, with everything that all the transition that Indiana's making. Obviously, from an outsider's perspective, it looks like the Indiana offense would be a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit more.
Oh, come on. Let's just don't lie about that. Let's get it. It's going to look like it's the 1980s compared to the 1900s.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to look a lot better and a lot different than Indiana's offense over the past 4 or 5 seasons.
Seasons specifically.
Yeah, and one would be obviously hard-pressed to look at what role Armand Franklin would play in that specific offense and say he could potentially find a better spot elsewhere. But again, it's only been 4 or 5 days since he's been able to really kind of talk with Coach Woodson and be able to kind of see what kind of the personnel would look like and what the schemes would look like. So I think this one will last a couple more days, but I don't think it'll go too much longer than that. But another team, Virginia's in there as well with Armand Franklin. So kind of those three teams as of right now.
And all great options, and he's got to do what's best for him. I mean, and however that works out, hopefully it would be good to see him come back to Indiana. It would be great to see, especially being an Indiana kid, being an Indianapolis kid. I don't see, I'll be honest with you, and this is no inside knowledge, I just don't see any way in the world Mike Woodson lets Armand Franklin get away. It's going to be two Indianapolis kids talking to each other. At the end of the day, Mike Woodson, yeah, he's a 60-year-old man who's been in the NBA forever, but at the end of the day, he's an Indianapolis kid. He's a kid who couldn't afford to go to the Bob Knight camp when he was a kid. I think they are going to have a great conversation. I think that Mike Woodson is going to be able to have great conversations with a lot of these kids. He's been there, man. He's been there. And I'm just – you don't have to be a 34-year-old guy to be able to relate to kids. Has Roy Williams not been successful for the 100 years he's been coaching? I think he did okay, and I'm pretty sure he's been old for 20 years. So I think he's did okay the last 20 years. But the staff that that comes on, Alec, I think is going to be – and I was talking about that a minute ago. Finish this question. Lander. Nothing. I don't think you're going to hear anything on Christian Lander until probably early in next week.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case for even a lot of these guys just in general, especially once the NCAA tournament is over. You're going to see, again, another probably 30, 40 names enter the transfer portal just because that's the way that it's going. There's over 1,100 kids in there right now. And it's going to keep going up. But once you get everyone in there, I think things will start to kind of steer their head and go in the right direction for the players. And I think you'll see at least a little bit of a calmer presence around the Indiana program next week than what it's been like over the past 2 weeks, which has been nonstop, just kind of craziness.
They retained Kenya Hunter, which on the outside is kind of funny because I would consider him an outsider of that previous staff. He was not in any way part of the previous staff, had not been a part of Archie's staff prior to that. Mike Roberts could kind of be considered an outsider in that regard too, as with the staff. But using terms like having a normal guy, that should be embarrassing to Archie Miller. But anyway, they do have a normal guy now. And I think that's another thing that is just there's just going to be this big balloon of relief of tension. It is it's been the weirdest thing that I've been around. But I think that these players are going to see that, wow, this is a lot more relaxing. And it's going to be a better for them. I think that they're going to see there's actually something here that is viable to me. That Armand Franklin, he wants to get to the next level. Well, this is his best bet, not where he was playing a few years before. So I'm going to be shocked not to see him come back. Christian's a little younger. I think he'll come back. But he's a popular, he's a very talented kid. And I think that, as is Armand, but people are going to be going after them. But I think they all come back. I think the Indiana guys come back.
Those two in particular? Or are you talking all four that are still those two? You think all four? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Race Thompson and Jordan Geronimo.
Well, they're not Indiana kids.
Oh, I thought you were referencing the Indiana
no, Indiana kids only.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think just kind of switching gears to those two guys, Race Thompson and Jordan Geronimo, I think it'll be much more difficult to keep those two guys. Obviously, Jordan Geronimo, I think going back home is something a little bit closer to home is going to be what his next
Yeah,
move
but
is.
that's. I mean, I feel sorry for this kid. Is that because his mom's blasting him out on Twitter, man? Oh no, we want Jordan back home. Dude is 19 now, man. He may this may be a. He's not gonna get. I don't think if he transfers, he's transferring down. He's not transferring laterally, I don't think, to a program wise. He's not going to another Indiana, and what Indiana can become. He'd be wise to stay where he is, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the kind of the stress and everything that was put on all these families over the last year, I think you're going to see a lot change over the next few months with players that do transfer a little bit closer to home. I think Jordan Geronimo is one of those guys. I think Seton Hall is one of those teams that would be a good fit for him if he does decide to go back to New Jersey. But, I mean, outside of that, I mean, again, Race Thompson from Minnesota, like we just talked about, I think those two guys are going to be leaving Indiana.
Where do you think he'll go? And it's not going to be Minnesota most likely because they're having a mass exodus. They lost Jamal Maxford Jr. They lost Marcus Carr. Speaking of that, there you go. Oh my, Mike Woodson. I hope he's up there talking to Marcus Carr. That would be a nice addition at guard for Indiana.
Yeah, that would be something. Minnesota's kind of in the same boat as Indiana is and kind of was with some of their top players. Most of those top 3 or 4 guys on their roster transferring out. So they're in a bit of a sticky situation themselves. I think still the pull going back home, I really do think the kind of what the players went through over this last year does have a little bit to do with some of these kids transferring. Just the fact that they did not get to see their families whatsoever. And granted, you know, college kids like to get away from their families, like to get away from their parents for certain times, but at the same time, they still,
especially ones that seem a little overbearing.
Yeah, exactly. And they, at the end of the day, they still want to be able to have that kind of home feel going back to their home state. And I think this last year really did wear on a lot of players mentally more than anything. So that's why you're seeing just a larger group of guys transfer out regardless of the one-time transfer rule.
Let's see. Forrest said he'd like to see Lewis rather than Fife. Fife's not an option. Dwayne, we'll get back to you. Come back on that. Brent says he can see what's here for 8 to 10 years. Who knows if Lewis or anyone would want to be an assistant that long before becoming. A lot of guys do. In that situation, I can see it because it's Indiana. If it was Iowa, no. But it's Indiana. It's an hour from where he's from. His kids are from. His wife is from. Where he went to school. If it's known, yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I don't see 8 to 10 years. No. If it's rolling, I'm thinking this is a 6-7 year max deal. I mean, he's got a 6-year contract. That could be the deal. Hey, Mike, what we want to do is we want to get this turned around. We want to get this Indiana culture back to where it was. And I think you're the guy to do that. They gave him a 6-year contract. I think that may be a 6-year buffer. And I promise you, Michael Lewis, if you said, Michael, but you'll wait 6 years, you are the next head coach in Indiana. Yes, he will be in a U-Haul right now from Los Angeles, California to Bloomington, Indiana, I think, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at Indiana's not going to want to go through another coaching search in another 5-6 years, right? So you would be in the right position if you do bring in a coach in waiting, or however you want to describe it, right? I mean, you look at some of the best programs around the country, and they have, if a coach retires or a coach decides to pass it over to someone else, they always have a plan. They always have some sort of coach in waiting, whether or not it's out there in the public to know or not, or just behind the scenes. And that's how you have a seamless transition. And that's where you're able to build on the the past 3, 4, 5 years that any program has. And I think that's one thing that Indiana really has to do if they are just looking for Mike Woodson to be kind of that bridge guy for the next head coach. But obviously we haven't even seen Mike Woodson coach a game yet in college, so we're kind of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here with 6 years down the line. I think if Indiana makes it with Mike Woodson to year 6 and potentially a year 7, I think Indiana is going to be in a great position, not only at that time but for the future, and be set up for regardless of if they have a coach in waiting or not. Because if Mike Woodson is able to last those 6 years, I think you're going to see the program get back to what it should be. And that's going to be a job that a lot of college coaches and NBA coaches or college assistants will want. And I think that's going to be best case scenario for Indiana.
Let's see. I have another text here from Jennifer from Evansville. Why are you listening to Dockage instead of no? Just kidding. Dockage is talking up Michael Lewis too. I would be absolutely giddy. Yeah, but he was also saying that Steve Alford twice now. He said that Steve Alford's going to be the coach, and because he wants Steve Alford because that's his buddy. When that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. That would no, but well, yeah. But he also Dan also had a certain someone on his show that railed me for being wrong about something that was not. So probably I'll start getting the information here a little more correct for you. Calbert Chaney, his experience has been pro. I don't know that that's other than being a head coach. I don't know that that's a direction he wants to go at this moment. And I don't know that they could promise him the head coaching position in a 6-year span with not knowing the experience level. The experience is so different between Michael Lewis and Calbert that I can see them saying to Michael, yes, man, you're going to be the coach in waiting because we know what you've achieved already. Your resume speaks for itself. You spend time here, boom, under Mike, and bam. Calbert, I don't know that's as guaranteed because he has less of the college coaching experience. Not that that matters that much. It's Calbert Chaney, and he's not that far away from it.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, Mike Woodson has 2 more positions to fill on his staff. You have the out-of-state recruiting checked off with Kenya Hunter. Now you need a really good game planner, really good X's and O's kind of guy who knows the college game. Mike Woodson knows the game of basketball, but there still is a big difference between NBA.
But that's Larry Brown. That's if he's going to bring. That's why he's bringing in. Seriously, I mean, that's not a joke.
No, he wouldn't be one of the 3 assistants though, because those guys
not on the bench. Not on the bench, but
well,
I mean, developing game plans and all that stuff. That's exactly what he's going to be there for. And Thad Mott is there for that if he has time. But Larry Brown is why he's been talked about for that type of reason.
Yeah, but I'm looking at more so the Michael Lewis aspect. He would be that guy. I mean, he's a great mind in the college basketball game. And so that's why I think you do bring him in, regardless of if he is that coach in waiting or not, regardless of if you give him that right away, or you say you do have the potential down the line to be that guy for the next few years. I think that's more critical to have that person on the bench who does know how to game plan for college basketball. And that would be Michael Lewis ahead of Calbert Chaney, just because those 2 minds are not the same when it comes to certain things at the college level. Calbert Chaney, obviously great basketball player, great basketball mind in his own right, but Michael Lewis has a different kind of gear. And we saw that when they beat Michigan. That was a lot of his game planning that went into it. And I think that's one thing that Indiana could really use that I don't think they've had on the sidelines, even dating back towards the end of Tom Crean's era, is a true, really strong game planner that knows all the ins and outs of the team that they are getting ready to play. And I think that's obviously what hurt Indiana over the last 6-7 years.
I agree, man. Anything else popping that the fans need to know about?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the news came out a few days ago that CJ Gunn just kind of, reconfirmed, I guess you could say, his commitment to Indiana after talking with Mike Woodson. Obviously that relationship still needs to develop. They still have some time before he obviously steps foot on campus being a 2022 recruit. But he is off to the 4A state championship this weekend where they will play Carmel. So that'll be a fun matchup between Lawrence North and Carmel, with CJ Gunn looking to get that state championship.
Absolutely. Looking forward. I'll be up there. Looking forward to that. And make sure you give him a follow at thehoosier.com for complete coverage of Indiana recruiting and all things Indiana. You can do so. It's Indiana Rivals. Alec Lasley, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Coming up next, our friend Verdell Jones is going to join us. He can't co-host today, but he's going to step in, talk with us a little bit. Back with that, much more, to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by Any More Honda, right after this.
Welcome to your extraordinary.
Damn it. All right, I need to get Leary at 10. That's what I meant
Did
to
he say
text
he was coming?
I didn't, dude. I said I need to get him at 10. I don't have him yet. I haven't been able to text him. Okay, where am I over here? Looking for Dale.
Hey, my phone.
How are you, sir?
Good. I'm using my phone. I'm using my coverage service. So
I had to do that on a show not too long ago.
yeah, hopefully it works.
How are you, man? Hey, how'd the fire thing go?
It went good. It went real good. Had a good interview. Talked well.
No answer. We don't have an answer.
Well, no, it's playing the waiting game now. So I guess now what they do is that they had their original list. Then they interviewed the top 15. After the interview, they'll reorganize that list, and then as openings and vacancies come up, they'll pull from that list. So
how many are there right now? Openings?
Right now there's 5 openings.
Oh, you're in.
My
money's on Verdell.
I hope so, man.
Oh yeah.
It was good. It was good. It felt good to do that, and like I said, that's one of my childhood dreams. So to be able to be in that situation was fun.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When do you find out for sure?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Man, come on, man. Give me a date. Don't leave me hanging out here like this.
I know.
Why they got to do that?
0% sales event. That's right. You get 0% APR financing on a brand new Honda from Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer, Andy Moore Honda. Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, where more means more. More selection, more savings.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sillersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Welcome back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Friday. That always means Verdell Jones. Not enough for Verdell Jones today, but we got enough to get us by till next week. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Can't complain. Just staying busy. How you doing?
Same old, man. It has been a busy 2 weeks. I'm ready for vacation. Man, I'm telling you, boy, has it's been busy around here. But I think it has been, we haven't spoken since the hire, Mike Woodson. I know someone who comes from outside of the state. You probably had other guys that you looked up to when you were playing. Mike Woodson is one of those guys that a kid that grew up in the 80s or 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s. They know who Mike Woodson is, man. Dude was a badass for Indiana, and just he's a typical Indiana player from Indianapolis. It's turning out to be a hire that is really growing on people. They thought that they needed this big splash of a name, and that's not always the case. It's always not always about that, and you know more about that than I do, of course. But you sent a great statement about the hire, I think it's going to work out very well.
Yeah, I do. And when I first heard the news, Alec texted me and let me know that there's a lot of sources talking about Coach Woodson being the next coach, and I was extremely excited out the gate. I think obviously a lot of us wanted these big names, the Brad Stevens and the Chris Beard, people like that. But also it's all about fit, right? Coach Beard, he's from Texas. Obviously became a Longhorn. Coach Stevens is in the NBA. Sometimes it's all about not who we want as fans, who we think can be the best fit, but what is going to be the best fit for the program right now. And I think Coach Woodson, it checked off a lot of boxes. Being a Coach Knight guy, being a from Indiana, knows the IU ways, and has that NBA tie that recruits look at now. I thought it was a home run hire personally. I know I saw a lot of people upset about it and not too happy about the decision. But I think gotta give it time now. This is the coach that Mr. Dolson picked. And Hoosier Nation, we gotta rally around him. He's the IU guy. It's not like we brought someone from the outside and some random. We brought in a guy who is proven, who's well respected, not just in the basketball world, but in the NBA world especially. And that goes a long way. That goes a long way with recruiting. I thought it was huge. They kept Kenya Hunter. I'm starting to see some of the guys who are returning out of the transfer portal. So these are all great signs that the program is starting to come together, and be restructured in the right way. So I can't wait. I'm super excited, man. I wish I could. I said something on Twitter the other day. I wish I had a fifth year, put some candy stripes on, and get out there and play, man, because I can feel the energy and the excitement back around the program.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was like a balloon was released. It was like someone took 10 needles and popped a balloon at the same time. It was like,
yes.
It was just like a lot of pressure just went out of Bloomington. Tim commented he's afraid not hearing from the players that they're not coming back. That's not the case. Some of them didn't get to meet with him until yesterday. I mean, it's a process, man. They have to talk to them and make sure this is the right situation for them. Verdell, again, you speak to that better than I can.
Absolutely. And what people don't understand is that, scholarships now are really just 1-year contracts anyways. After every season, your coach brings you in, has a one-on-one conversation with you anyways. So, with Coach Woodson getting hired recently, I think he had to go through a lot of the processes of a new coach being hired. And then I think, he really does want to meet with every player one-on-one to see where their head is. And I think that's extremely smart. If a player who's in the portal or who doesn't want to be here is not going to fit the mold of what IU is going to look like moving forward, then you got to let them go. Let it be mutually beneficial for both parties. A lot of times we want players to stay because it's Indiana, but how about what if they stayed and it doesn't work out? Now we're upset at them during the season. If they want to go, let them go, and let's find replacements in this portal of over 1,000 kids. This is Indiana, okay? So it's not going to be, I think with Coach Woodson in there now, it won't be too hard, God willing, to pull guys from the transfer portal. It's their time and let's build.
Yeah, that's another thing. That thing works both ways. So. And there's kids out there, and this kid, I feel sorry for Jack Nungy. He is from Newburgh, Indiana, which is just east of Evansville. So it's pretty much due south of you and southwest of me. But he's been at Iowa. for the last couple of years. I think he's a redshirt sophomore now, but he's had some injuries. But he's 6'11" and shoots from the perimeter. I hate that he got away, but I don't know that he's someone that can come back. But TJD, of course, there's Trace Jackson Davis and Armand Franklin, kind of the centerpieces in the deal. If you don't get them back, you have to replace them in the portal. Their replacement is not on the roster.
Yep, I agree. And that those are two hard positions to replace, especially TJD. You know, I think he has the NBA capabilities, but I think Coach Woodson made a great valid point. To play in the NBA, he has to get a right hand. And for a coach to tell you that and want to really get you to that point, I think it's a no-brainer to stay here. Personally, I think that's someone, if you're trying to get to the NBA, you want to be coached or taught by an NBA guy, someone who's going to understand how the NBA works, someone who's going to understand how to develop my game to be more like an NBA player. So for me, that would be a no-brainer. But obviously, you know, I'm not in those two players' camp, so I don't know what's being talked about or what's going on. I wish the best for both of them. I think the best situation for both of them who are trying to go to the NBA is to play for a former NBA coach.
Absolutely. And Sean says, imagine if Woody can get some confidence instilled in Rob, someone we haven't talked about, because it seems like his confidence just eroded right in front of our eyes. And I don't think it had anything to do with those injuries. It was just, I think it's something else, because this entire team looked like they were down at the bottom of the ocean and came up too fast and all had the bends every time they played. Man, it's just like they were under pressure all the time. And I think that Mike is exactly the guy that can come in, put his arm around Rob, because he is a better ball player than what we've seen. But looking forward to that,
I think Rob and people and players like that, when you hear a coach saying, "Hey, we got to shoot threes, we got to get up and down, we got to share the ball," that's exciting. That's exciting basketball to play. You know, you don't want to come around and just, run plays for 25 seconds and then shoot a bad shot. You want to get some movement and some shots up. And so I think that's exciting to hear. And, like I said, I hope these guys come back. If they don't, then we find new players in the portal.
And it brings up, Brent says he hopes Woody can get Kentucky back on the schedule. Obviously, that was something that Archie could not do, and he was friends with Calipari, but I don't think that he really wanted to, because they would have been demoralized every year except for possibly this year. But I think this is exactly something that can happen, because something I said in the segment prior, Verdell, the blue bloods, the schools at IU, North Carolina, UK, Duke, Kansas, and UCLA, those to me are the bedrock of college basketball, whether people want to conclude Indiana or not, but that's the truth. But those schools, Indiana coaching change, North Carolina coaching change. I think that next year will be Calipari's last year, a coaching change. Duke K is, I think, the same. That second year may be his last year. Kansas, Bill Self, does he escape punishment? And UCLA just made a change again. If you want to throw Louisville and Michigan State in there, Louisville is 2 years away from having just made one, and Michigan State is probably 2 years away. That is the nexus of college basketball right there. And we are seeing a complete changing of the guard at every one of those schools, possibly within a 4-year span. Don't think that has ever happened. Not that, some of that's predictatory, but I think it's going to happen. But that's never happened. So there's a change in college basketball, how college basketball is being played now. But I think that Indiana, Kentucky, long way of getting back to this happens again. It's a travesty that it hasn't happened. But with Calipari being gone, I think in 2 years, I think that comes back together. I think Kentucky may go this route. They don't do this. They're not they're not they don't recruit. Kentucky doesn't produce as a state. It doesn't produce much talent. So they're not recruiting from inside of their state. They have to go to other places. But I think that this comes back together.
I do too, and I hope it does, man. You know, I think
it's your fault. It's your fault, by the way, that we're not playing right now.
Hey, you know it's crazy. It'll be 10 years next year, since that game, the last game they played. I think that'd be
about that. It's your fault. You made the right pass, man.
That'd be a
great second greatest.
Go ahead.
Thomas, I guess, as Verdell has gone away for a minute. We'll see if he comes back. But the assist to Christian Watford, second greatest assist all time, Indiana basketball, of course, next to Daryl Thomas, who kicked it out to Keith Smart. Let's see. Julia says, I hope he also, everybody wants that game back. I mean, man, when I was in school, before that, the games in Freedom Hall and the old Hoosier Dome, split down the middle, red on one side, blue on the other. It was just anarchy. But let's see. Shay, that's all right. New comment. Where are you from? McNeely, I think we will be fine if we don't get everyone back. A 12-15 team, leave a lot to be desired. Armand back, be a great, but let's get some new blood. I think that you're going to be surprised. I really do. I think the Indiana kids will come back. I think that they will rally around Mike Woodson. And I think you're looking at a tournament team next year. You don't know yet what's coming, what they can do with the portal. They had 2 open scholarships. They've got room. You've got a guy who can get in there and work with these freshmen. Anthony Leal just needs somebody to work with him. He's a shooter. Someone needs to just work with Trey Galloway, get him organized. And Christian Lander. That dude has got the talent. He's got the vision, the speed. He's got stuff you cannot coach, that you can't give. So that's what Mike Woodson brings. But also he's bringing the people that can do that with him. See, that's Archie Miller was going to do everything himself, which I don't know what the hell he was doing to begin with. Not much. But he brought in no one to make the situation better. I mean, you can say that about Kenya Hunter maybe, but yeah, you got to have great people around you. Verdell knows that, and that's probably one of the best things you can say about Mike Woodson already, Verdell. He's trying to have great people around him. Now, you helped him with trying to get Thad Mata around him in an administrative form, but people are kind of laughing at him for wanting to bring Larry Brown in as a confidant. Dude, we talked about this yesterday. There are certain people, and Larry Brown's one of them. Their brains are full of basketball knowledge, and he's done it at the college level very successfully. He just couldn't stay within the confines of the NCAA rules.
Exactly. Only a fool thinks he knows everything. You know what I mean? So the fact that Coach Woodson is wanting to bring around these other very successful coaches should be something that's applauded and loved. I mean, he's not bringing in some random off the street. He's bringing in Thad Mata and coach, a Hall of Fame coach. You know what I mean? These are things that should be, at Indiana, especially where we're such a basketball blue blood program, that we should accept these things and want these kind of people to be around the program. That's even more exciting to the story. That's even more exciting to whatever recruits we bring in. I'm trying to tell you, all these kids nowadays, even though 99.5% will never play pro, everyone wants to go play pro. So when that margin is that small, it's enticing to see that there's coaches who have that NBA experience on staff. That's who I want to go play for. That's who I want to be taught by. I don't want to be taught by someone who doesn't have any NBA experience, because all he's doing is trying to give me his knowledge, but he doesn't really know how the whole situation works. You know what I mean? So to be taught by guys who know the NBA in and out and have the idea of what Indiana basketball is about, to me, is a slam dunk.
That's what it's about, I think. Having the right people. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life, Verdell, having the right people. If you were a mayor, the first thing you're going to do is select the staff, your staff. And your staff is a staff of people that you have to trust, that you have to know is going to do what you want to do, lead your vision. And that's the same as a head coach to the players.
Absolutely. You can't have guys on your staff that are going to be kind of contradicting what you're saying or sending out mixed messages on the recruiting trail. You want someone that can come in and echo your own thoughts and your own beliefs. And that's what he's doing. And like I said, to me, keeping Kenyon Hunter was a great move. I think that's someone out the gate who can provide that recruiting that we need early, and create those relationships. And the fact that you have, like I said, Thad Matta right there with you, man, it's just it's. I'm excited. I just am. I'm extremely excited.
Well, and the next question is, and I was talking about this earlier, is I think that they're going to bring in. I think this is actually the setup for the IU guy. And the name that just keeps jumping at the top of my list is Michael Lewis, for all the reasons you already know. But I just think from a timing standpoint, where he is, Dane is not going to leave for another, head coach in waiting deal. Calvert has been doing pro. I don't know. It's not that it couldn't happen. They're not going to bring another pro-only guy in, though. Mm-hmm. So Michael Lewis, he's from Indiana. He's an Indiana. He yelled at Bob Knight. That just
there's a lot of exciting things there, and I think that would be a great move too. I mean, I know Coach Woodson is getting older. I don't know how long he's planning on doing this, but if you can, groom your next coach during this process, man, that'd be huge. We're tired of getting rid of coaches every few years. Let's build something out. So if Coach Woodson's only going to be here for 4 to 5 years, I think it'd be a no-brainer to bring in someone like Coach Lewis to be that assistant.
We got to take a break. I'm not sure if Verdell can stick around or not. If he can, he'll be here. And if he can't, he won't. But we'll be back with more to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by Andy Moore Honda, right after this.
Hey, we all want more, and no one gives you more for less than.
What's your schedule, Verdell?
I should be good.
We only go till 10:30. So
okay, the IT guy's on his way here. So if I have to break away for a quick second, I might have to. But
IT guys are. If I had a kid that didn't have a direct thought of what they wanted to do, I'd say become an IT guy.
For real though,
dude. They rule the world.
If
the banks go down, if every freaking thing is tied to that or this.
Yep, it's all technology now.
My life is right there, and I lose that, I become Jack Nicholson in any of his crazy movies. Oh yeah, man. This Michael Lewis thing is just coming together naturally.
I wasn't so I wasn't too familiar with him in the situation, but ever since kind of the rumors started about him being a head coach, I really started focusing in on him, and I'm a huge fan. I think what he's doing.
I love Michael. He's great. I've been texting him. Well, I text him regularly, but I was texting him throughout the tournament after each game, and then the last text the other day, I've left him alone. I was going to have him on today, and I freaking forgot to text him because all this is going on. But I just said, good luck with your interview. And that was like on Monday because I'm like, I know it's coming.
For sure.
He didn't respond to that.
It's a good tell sign that he probably had an interview.
I'm going to text him, see if he happens to be available. How's the wife?
She's doing good. She's doing good, man. We actually have our tournament. We have another tournament this weekend over in Iowa, and so she'll be at home alone all weekend.
Don't say that stuff. Don't ever say that on loud.
That's true.
Seriously, I'm serious. Yeah, he didn't say that, and he lives in Ottumwa, Iowa.
For sure.
To dine and to play. We offer an
Do you
up-close
golf?
animal encounter with elephants and giraffes, lodging
that's
that
right.
is
We
out
talked
of this
about this.
world, world-class golfing, and a premier resort experience that is waiting for you on your next visit to French Lick, West Baden.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Yep, it's Friday from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, but it got cold. Man, I was out yesterday, and I forgot my jacket yesterday, my coat. I was dying. It was pretty Arctic. 25 stinking degrees, man.
This time of the year always tricks you.
Okay, Verdell, we've got the Final Four set to go tomorrow.
Yes.
UCLA, I hate to say this but maybe, how about we do this? How about if we talk to Michael Lewis?
Let's do it.
Let's do that. He's got about 10 minutes. And I'm going to get him on here and do this the unconventional way. Hey, Mike.
How are you?
Hey, good, brother. We're on live, so I just want to make sure you knew that. Hey, Verdell's here with us as well, Verdell Jones.
Hey, Verdell, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, Coach. How you doing?
How about this run, man? You guys have just continued from the first four out, Mike, to the Final Four. It's just got to be just a blast for these kids. But I know this is a business trip for you guys, and you can tell that. But it's just been magical to watch you guys.
No, it's been a lot of fun, and our guys are having a blast. I think you got to let them have a little fun, being in this bubble. And, we're going on 3 weeks here in the downtown Marriott. But this is their first experience with this in the NCAA tournament. And, they're starting to think this stuff is easy, man. They can first NCAA tournament and they got 5 wins. So they're having a blast, and it's great to watch them have this experience and share the experience with them. But we'll get out. We're getting ready to head to practice here soon, and then we have our open public practice later today, and get right into game mode. This is an exciting time.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know everyone expects to be there, but really with this crazy season, a Final Four ending, is that something you could have imagined with the start after you lose your top player on top of that to an ACL injury?
I think, whether you play or coach, you always dream of getting on this stage. And, there's a lot of things that have to go your way. A lot of things have to go right. Obviously, losing Chris Smith was not ideal. But we got a pretty resilient group. We got a tough group. A lot of people knock the West Coast, say the people are soft and players are soft, but we've got a pretty tough group, and they've gone out and competed, and they just put themselves in games, and we try to get to the under 4 timeout with a chance to win, and try to go win it down the stretch, and these guys have done that.
Verdell?
I'm a huge fan of your team.
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I said I'm a huge fan of the way their teams play. I've known Coach Cronin for a while.
I can't hear.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear you on the phone, though. Verdell, Verdell's saying he's a huge team of you guys. He's been cheering you on. He probably can't hear because we're doing this on the phone. But, yeah, man, I know you don't have a lot of time, so we want to keep you. It's just been a blast. I watched you all year just because you had the late game, so it's been fun watching you. And someone yesterday, I was talking with someone, I did notice this, but they said they pointed out that the entire staff of UCLA is all slick bald. Is that just a? Yeah,
it's a prerequisite. Yeah, it was part of the job interview. If you're gonna coach here at UCLA, you gotta take it down to the skin and shave it. But no, it's just part of it. It is just kind of a coincidence, and it's When you get on stages like this, people try to make a story out of anything.
Absolutely. And I know that during all of this, with the tournament being in Indianapolis, the changing of the coach with Mike Woodson, it's got to be happy for you to see someone like him get that position.
Yeah, I think, we talked, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, Jim, and just talked about who the kind of prerequisites that I felt like needed to be the coach down there, and I think Mike checks all those boxes. So happy that it's one of us. It's a former player, because I think the care and respect for the program. You can't find that with somebody that doesn't understand what Indiana can be, and Mike obviously experienced that at a high level. His NBA career is extraordinary. I mean, he's a fantastic person on top of all that. And I don't think I think when you're a former player, there's so much care about the program that this has to work for Woody. It has to work. And so he's going to give it everything he can to get our program back on the right track and get Indiana basketball back where it is. I mean, if you're Mike Woodson, you can't fail at this. And I think Scott's going to give him all the resources he needs to be successful. Because could you imagine being Woody and this not working and have to try to go to dinner and sit down and look eye to eye with Scott May and Quinn Buckner? Like that just can't happen, right? So it has to work. He's obviously very passionate about Indiana basketball, and I know that I know and trust that Mike's going to get us back where we need to be.
I think that's the sentiment around Bloomington and everywhere else around the state. He's got some spots that he's still got to fill. Has it been distracting with your name coming up as a potential assistant?
When you coach, you're able to compartmentalize a lot of different things. You're hit with curveballs every day. So, and when you're committed to a team the way that I am, and invested in these guys, and you see their emotions in chasing, this Final Four and a chance to win a national championship, you can keep your focus pretty easy.
Is that something that you would consider after the season?
At the end of every season, Jim, like there's been seasons I have no options. There's been seasons where I've had options, and that's something for that time. Kind of as you look back and decompress and try to figure out what's next. There's a lot of variables that go into coaching moves and coaching decisions. A ton of things, a lot more than probably what casual fans can think of. But I do know this. I've got a great job. I work in an unbelievable location. I work under 11 national championship banners. I work for one of the best coaches in the business, and we're in the Final Four in year 2. So I truly believe that Mick Cronin is going to hang the 12th national championship banner in Westwood, and this has been a great experience.
Absolutely, man. It's been fun watching you, and I'd like to see the ride continue, because you also have a lot of Indiana fans counting on you guys to knock off Gonzaga, man, or Gonzaga, however they say it out there. But somebody's got to stop those Zags.
Yeah, I hope we're the ones, and we're not an NBA team. We don't have to beat them 4 times. We just have to be better than them for 40 minutes tomorrow night, and that's going to be our approach. Our guys are in a good mindset, but Gonzaga is a great team. They're undefeated for a reason. They're very talented, very well coached, very disciplined, probably the best passing team in college basketball, and I think they're very underrated defensively because of just how efficient they are on the offensive end. So we're going to have our hands full, but I think our guys are going to go out there and compete and give it everything they have, and we'll try to muddy the game up a little bit and put ourselves in a position to win it at the end. But as far as the undefeated stuff, like whether it happens or not, it's never going to take anything away from what those dudes did in '76. Like this is what is going on with Gonzaga, and if hopefully we can trip them up, but you can't take away special seasons like that. That stuff's so overrated. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you have an accomplishment like that. It stands forever.
Mike Lewis, I cannot thank you enough, man. You have been always great, so great to us, and I wish you the best of luck. I'd like to see you all hang that banner this year and get you a big old fat ring.
That'd be good. And I apologize, I can't hear Verdell when he was speaking.
That's all right. It's because we're doing this by phone on my end. But I thank you so much, man. We'll do this another time after you guys hang that banner.
I appreciate it, man. Sounds good.
Thank you, Mike. Mike Lewis joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat. We're very lucky. He's such a great friend to the show here. So there you go. I mean, he handled that perfectly. He handled that. And as soon as he's answering that one question, I'm like,
He might be coming.
Yeah. I'm like, he's giving that I got a great job answer. Oh, no. I was like, oh, no, I'm giving that great job answer. I got a great job. I'm like, oh, hell. Oh, yeah. So you heard it first here, as always. Not as always, but yeah, you heard it first here. But that's pretty cool. Mike's always been so cool. And that's another thing about this staff. Coach Woodson will be on here when he has a minute. But you see Michael and whether it's Dane or you or AJ, Archie, oh, my God. And when you have an athletic director come out and make a statement that I just want to have a normal guy, holy cow. What does that it doesn't, I know because we've dealt with it. But that's what the fans just don't know. It was weird. It was bizarre. But hey, we got to take a break. That was just an incredible segment. Now we let Verdell talk on the way out. We can finish out with some wides and says wisdom as we head into the weekend. Back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, brought to you by Andy Moore Honda Bloomington.
Hey, we all want more, and no one gives you more for less.
That was awesome and unexpected.
Yeah, that was cool right there.
Yeah, call me. I got 10 minutes. Bam.
Yeah.
See, John, that's what I'm saying, how we got to get figured out. Verdell can't hear, or they can't hear each other.
The moment you called him, I tried texting you saying he wasn't going to be able to hear him.
It dawned on me. I'm like, crap, he's on my phone. But there has got to be a way to plug this into the stupid Behringer box. I'm telling you.
I guarantee. So the way that I was doing it with Don the other day, it works, but because my computer stinks, it didn't work well. So when we have that desktop, that kind of thing might be able to work again.
Yeah, well, we're going to get it dead up. But that was some great stuff.
That was
just
good.
Just talk to the next Indiana assistant.
Yeah.
While he's at the Final Four.
Right down the street.
That's a clip, right, John?
What do you say?
What's that, Verdell?
I said, go ahead and win a championship and then drive on down to Bloomington.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Well, our head coach is a guy. Our new head coach is a guy who spent 9 years as a head coach in the NBA. New assistant just won a national championship with UCLA, and he's a former Indiana player. He played for Bob Knight. It would just come on, get out of here. and they do this, and they did Archie Miller. How do you do that? I don't understand how you do that. What did you say, John?
I asked if you were trying to ask me a question about a minute ago.
I said something. I forget what I said.
Did you say something about cutting this as a clip? Because that's what I thought it was.
Oh, yes. You know that there was actually two clips there. There was two clips there. There's the clip about him, and then there's the clip.
You could just do the whole interview.
Well, I understand that. But you could also see, remember what I said? You take pieces. People take smaller bites. You take the whole interview. Take the whole interview.
It's only 10 minutes. That's the thing, though. 10 minutes isn't that long of a video for YouTube.
I understand. I get that. But I promise you there are two clips there. There's a clip of him talking about everything at first, and then everything switched. There was three. There was talking about making the Final Four. There was talking about.
I'll separate it into two parts.
But I'll re-listen to it.
Yeah.
This is the crazy
to dine
stuff,
and to play.
Crazy crap you got.
We offer an up-close animal encounter with elephants and giraffes, lodging that is out of this world, world-class
Verdell,
golfing,
you need to bring your
and a
wife
premier
to
resort
French Lick.
experience that is waiting for you on your next
I'm not
visit to
kidding.
French
You
Lick
can't
West.
be that far from you.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Point Studios on this Friday. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington, number one Honda dealer there. As a matter of fact, where was that? Where did I have that pulled up? Oh, yes. You know what? Talk about some great deals. You need a new vehicle, Verdell? How about a new 2020 Honda Civic LX front-wheel drive lease for just $180 a month?
Oh, wow.
That's lunch money for you, man.
Man, that's lovely right there.
Get a new 2021 Honda Accord LXF front-wheel drive lease for $270. Man, those are some bargains.
I'm a little taller, so I might need the Accord instead of the Civic.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm not a two-door guy. I'm a four-door guy.
Yeah.
Got to have four doors.
Need a little space.
Did we talk about your fireman? We did off air. I don't think we talked about it on air. You had your meeting for the firemen, right?
Yeah, I had my interview on Wednesday morning with the chief and the other the board of the other committee members, I guess you could say. Went really well. Man, it really was a dream come true to be able to go through that whole process. Now, unfortunately, he's got to wait. Hopefully we'll find something out within the next month. I want to say there's 4 or 5 vacancies open. They interviewed the top 15 to 20 guys. So after they do all that, then they'll figure out what's next. So, just going through the process and hoping that it all works out in my favor.
Verdell, what do you think about Franklin talking to Illinois? Interested in your perspective.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Well, Illinois is one of the teams that's reached out. I think Virginia is one of the teams that has reached out. But Illinois is the team that has been pushing the hardest, losing to Samu, and they lost somebody else too, another guard. But
yeah,
I'm like,
Miller just transferred to the yesterday as well. Put his name in the transfer.
I don't see Coburn staying. So I'm like, why would you go there? They're gonna be tanked.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing a whole rebuilding process. I don't know about that situation. Like I said, I think that Indiana is still the better situation. Personally, Illinois, they were hot this year, but with Io and Kofi probably leaving, they're going to be rebuilding. So why go to somewhere where you're rebuilding again, where you could be at a program that's on the up and coming with a hot coach and who's an NBA guy? That it just makes sense to me.
How about a Chicago Fire basketball league?
We should, man. We should. It was crazy is that when I retired, I haven't played basketball since, man. So I'm probably pretty rusty right now. So I don't know if I'll be able to play at all.
Yeah, because I'm on this kick, man, and I'm not letting up. I'm gonna make you you don't have to play, but you have got to get this TBT thing put together, man. Mo Creek is off playing in the finals with somebody else, and he's he's a teammate of yours.
For sure.
But I'm trying to think, Indiana guys, who is it that's available to do that? Because I don't think Jordan gets back in time, or maybe or guys that are like you're like, hey, I'm done. So, but I'm trying to. Who are the guys that are in that window that because you got to have the guys who are in that window. I mean,
you do,
because when you're done, you're like, no, I'm done. I'm done with the injuries. I'm done with Sunday mornings, man. It's over.
For sure.
But I'm trying to think who are some guys. It's going to have to be some Crean guys.
It will be. I mean, you got, Robert Johnson, I think he's playing overseas. You got Blackman. He's destroying overseas right now. Got Remy Abel. These are all some of these guys transfer to left, but they're still IU guys and still have love for IU. So
put it together, man. You're the only guy that can do everything. You do everything. So you can do that. But I've talked to a couple of guys that are doing that. I'm like, man, somebody, because you see all these teams that are alma mater teams, and it's fun to watch. I'm like, dude, come on.
DJ White, that'd be fun, man. That would be fun to get all those guys back on the team and play. Mind to see what happens.
Telling you. I guarantee we'll find you a sponsor. We'll get it done. Let's see. Yes, it was. Let's see. Julia, Sean, what's this one? A long one. Rob went through a lot the last season between the media and fans constantly questioning what had happened. Would have been easier to leave following. You know what? There is no one that would have been more expected to leave to me. And I mean, no one on that entire roster than Rob Fennessy. And if he stays,
yeah,
that's a good thing because the kid has been baptized by fire.
Yeah.
And I think that worst case scenario is you got a veteran. If he's coming off the bench or whatever, it doesn't matter. Who knows? Maybe he gets turned around with the right tutelage. But, yeah, I'm shocked that he did not go into the portal. Of course, I'm not sure where he would go. It would kind of be a step down for him probably because his career has not been one that people are banging on his door, I guess. But yeah, he seems like a really, really good kid. And that's another thing. We haven't gotten to know these kids over the last 4 years. That sucked as well.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, like I said, it's outside looking in and starting to become more and more in tune with the program. You could definitely feel that kind of separation from the program and everyone else. I mean, I remember when Coach Crean, that was one of the first things that we really did was go out and try to be, try to meet and be introduced with other people. I think we went down to Evansville and played in a little scrimmage down there in front of fans. We're constantly doing stuff to interact with the community and the fan base. So I'm excited that Coach Woodson is coming back, and I'm pretty sure that he'll reinstill that into the mindset of the players that this is a big community and a big family.
Let's see. Ask me, why would you think this team would be so much better? They would have to get used to a new coach and a new scheme. Yes, some players, I'll tell you why they'd be better. Because they're going to be coached for the first time in 4 years. I think that they have truly not been coached. I think that they have been trying to be forced into a system where they're running this system and they were not taught bigger, more important college basketball fundamentals of offensive and defensive strategies. And they don't know how to react to that or make adjustments because they haven't been taught that. But I think that they're smart enough, they're talented enough, they were close enough this year. So I think that being the deciding factor, coaching, yes, I think that's why. I think that they're close enough with talent that, well, look what Mick Cronin did at UCLA. The first year he goes out there, they were almost. The second year, they're in the Final Four. That's what happens when you put the right coach in the right place. Tom Allen, Indiana football. You just put the right coach in the right place, things happen. That's why I think that.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. IU was a tournament team majority of the year. At the end of the year is when we got in the bubble and they kind of fell off the bubble, but the pieces were all right there. Now you just need that captain to kind of steer that ship, and I think that's what Coach Woody can do.
Yeah, and I think that's why, because they've got talent, no doubt about it. And all these are veteran guys, too. So it's not like these are freshmen, but they have some freshmen that they could hopefully get brought along a little bit better. But you've got a lot of veterans. If you can get Rob confident and turned around, if you can get Trace Jackson-Davis doing some other things. Jerome Hunter's another guy we haven't heard about. Shocked that I didn't see his name in the transfer portal. Shocked. Because I consider he's the biggest Archie guy of them all. Archie recruited him to Dayton. So there's another guy that who knows? It's just going to be interesting to see. But I think with pure effort, they could have been a tourney team. Mm-hmm. That team last year on effort alone could have made the tournament, I think, had they been able to do just a few things different. So, yeah, I think that they're a tournament team under the right hands, without question.
Yep, I agree.
Sean says, Lewis says the entire Hoosier fan base. Yep, there's no doubt about that. If we can win it all, yep, it'd be great. Let's see that. Jeff, there's a new name. I appreciate that. Lewis could be a Hoosier. Yes, well, and Kenya Hunter had that title with Archie Miller, but that's with Archie Miller, and I think that he's fine with not having that. Look at it. Jennifer says her UCLA sweatshirt. Damn, that was quick. Hopefully that you won't need that very long, although they're good-looking sweaters. Hey, here's an Evansville listener. We appreciate you. Hope Lander stays, but Archie did it. Yes, he did. It came out, and I had always wondered this for Dell because he reclassified, and we're almost at time to end the show. And it's coming out that may not have been as much his idea as was thought. So that's another issue. But, man, thank you for taking the time to join us today. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but we're excited to find out about you become a fireman when that happens. Looking forward to it. But excited about it all, man.
Man, me too. It's exciting times for me, but even more exciting times for the Hoosier Nation. So I can't wait for this journey to continue to grow.
Absolutely, and I can't thank everybody else enough. All you guys coming along, especially if you're following us on YouTube. Make sure to do that, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, because that's where you can see us. You can see how ugly I am. So there you go. There's that. Verdell, I cannot thank you enough as always. Gigantic thanks to Mike Lewis, has always been a great friend of the show, joining us today on the program, and Alec Lasley as well. I hope you have a great weekend, Verdell, and you and your family go out and have an enjoyable weekend.
Thank you. You as well. Stay warm and get some rest, man.
And everybody else as well. Thank you guys so much. You are the old crutch of the entire show, everything we do. But please go out and do something nice for somebody this weekend. Wear your mask. Until Monday, I guess. I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.